Hello and welcome, my friends. The glorious, the mighty TRP Operator, roughly 3.5 thousand rounds through this gun. How is it performing? Should you buy one? Is it worth the money? I now have so many videos of this handgun on the channel. It's really unreal. And this thing has, again, 3,500-ish rounds through it at this point. I don't know exactly how many rounds this thing has, but I always err on the lower end of things when we are looking at round counts, just because I don't want anything to be disingenuous. So is there a very real possibility that this gun is actually at like 4,000 rounds? Yes, absolutely. You will be happy to know right out of the gate that reliability of the good old Operator has been 100%. You may have heard in other videos I had one malfunction ever in this gun, and it was, of course, at a class, and I don't really know exactly what that was from. It could have been a weird rim or something. I don't know. It could have been the gun, but it got locked up behind the extractor, and that was it. And, of course, I was the one 1911 guy in the class that, of course, also had a malfunction. So I was that guy. But other than that, this gun has ran 100%. I mean, zero malfunctions of any type. And that is with just a plethora of different magazines through this gun. I've ran everything from Mec-Gar to Kimber to factory Springfields from Wilson Combats, random Colt mags of unknown origin, unmarked mags, everything. This thing has chewed up, spit out, and had absolutely no issues whatsoever. I've ran hollow points through this gun. I've ran a variety of brass-cased ammunition. It has never had an issue with any of the ammunition that I put through it and just continues to chug along. I left it abysmally dirty for this range day, and quite frankly, it absolutely is a little bit dry as well. But I wanted to see how this gun would perform. And as you can see, it is still dirty, it's still gummed up, but it had absolutely no issues chugging through this unbelievably hot range day that we had here today in the good old state of Pennsylvania. This thing just keeps on going. As far as 1911s are concerned and value is concerned, this pistol racks in at roughly anywhere from like 1,600 lima beans to like 1,800 lima beans, okay? And what happened is Springfield stopped making these, or at the very least had very, very limited batches for almost 5 to 7 years. They just really did not make much of this gun. The 2020 craziness had a lot to do with that, and then they started batching these pistols out again. So there's a lot of concern about the new TRPs and if there is the same quality level. Now, I can only speak for this example in particular, but it seems to be the full rail model every bit of the high-quality machining that the original TRPs were. I mean, this gun has been absolutely incredible for the value. It's hard because I'm looking at this gun right now, and I'm thinking the price point that it's at, and I think I would still confidently say that this is one of the best factory 1911s that you could get on the market. And I paid every bit of the full retail from like another shop for this gun. I think they kicked me a little bit of a discount as the armories. When it comes to this gun, I am into it just like you guys would be into it. And again, I would pay that more for this gun. I love it that much. It is that good of a gun. I'm not lying to you. And you know what has helped me with this decision is you in the comment section. You guys have sounded off under every single TRP video, every single TRP post that I've done saying, hey, you encouraged me to pick up a full rail, and it is everything that you said it was in your video. So you guys are helping me out in understanding that it is not just my data point of one, that it does seem to be most of the full rail variations. Now, where I think Springfield is going astray a little bit is expanding the TRP lineup to the extreme of where it's at now, and I think that may be where a little bit of quality control issues issues can come about, because I don't know the track record of those brand new TRP models. But I do know the track record of the Full Rail, and that seems to be continued on through these newer variations. I have like a sexual desire for this gun. That's like the second time I've said that in one of these videos. So you might have thought like, man, he might have regretted saying that, so that was a little weird. I'm saying it, I'm doubling down on that with this gun, just so you know. So that should tell you everything that you need to know. Let's see how smooth this is, crudded up, dry, and dirty from the range. Just listen to this, okay? Just like, oh, it's like, it's so glass. It's just disgustingly smooth. Still not that much battle rattle, but you got a little bit. I prefer battle rattle because that tells me this gun is going to be combat reliable. I have a bunch of scuffs and scrapes all over the slide. This is not me like beating it up or torture testing it. It's just hard use on this gun, so that it is what it is. I don't mind that at all. This is my workhorse of a gun. This is still my EDC now, and I have been drawing with it consistently, taking a class with it as well, and all of those things is just continually wearing on the Cerakote finish, including where the brass is ejecting there on the side. This is essentially like the 1911 version of a brass deflector, if you will, and I've had zero issues. Now, a lot of people wanted me to get this cut for a red dot. That is absolutely not in this gun's future. It's just, I don't know, man. It's not at all what I envision for this gun. I really like the adjustable target sights on here. It does have a tritium vial in the front, and that's the only thing that personally I would swap out for like a brass bead or a gold bead up in the front. I really, really prefer those. If anything, almost maybe a fiber optic, but probably not. Anything would be better than this tritium dot. The tritium dot is just not the move for this sight, and I think it really actually takes away from the beauty of this rear sight. Now, if you want to switch the sights out, you will notice, as I've mentioned multiple times with the TRP, that obviously the sight cut in the rear is proprietary to the TRP, so it will be somewhat harder to find a replacement rear sight. As far as the grips holding up, I am now seriously starting to wear the abrasive grip tape-like texture on these wood grips. If you didn't know, this is actually wood that they got this really cool grip tape texturing on. And still, EDCing this gun, amazingly, such an aggressive gun, I've had no rashes or wear on my skin inside the waistband, which is very bizarre. It's not at all what I thought would be the case. I don't know why that is, just might be my body type, but again, no issues with these grips at all. Still loving the 20 lines per inch checkering up in the front. This is real checkering, feels very good. Loving the flared magwell and having absolutely no issues with that California safety in the back strap of the gun in any way, shape, or form in the mainspring housing there. I know a lot of people have concerns about that. For me, it's been fine. That's not to say next range trip I could have a major issue with it, but you can swap that out. It's just you got to get an entirely new mainspring housing, which I just don't really want to deal with. Still running the Surefire X300 on there. Accuracy was fine at the range. I swear, I'm not coming up with excuses, but okay. I chugged a rain right before the range. That's about 300 milligrams of caffeine, and I was just a little overexcited, a little over-caffeinated, and my group at 10 yards was a little bit all over the place. I don't hide anything on this channel, so I will show you the group. I'm not sure what that's about. I would say 90% sure that was me throwing all those shots. There was one like crazy flyer, and just rest assured that before, multiple times, especially in a class, when I'm really taking my time, this pistol is unbelievably accurate at 10 yards. Usually, those groups are like touching at 10 yards, hole after hole. So, I don't know what the deal was today. I had every intention of getting like a consistent group video for you, but it wasn't the day. I have been concealing the TRP recently still in my QVO Tactical. This is the Wingman and the new and improved Wingman. And still, as much as I love my leather, I do go back pretty consistently to the kydex and the appendix roll for this gun. It's just very hard to conceal on the strong side. If you have a body type like myself, if you're of the thinner variety in the waist, it's going to be a hard thing to conceal with this grip wanting to kind of just stick out like that. So I've just found that, again, appendix is the way to go, especially with a highly adjustable rig. And shout out to Roger. He's one of the few that makes a specific TRP full rail holster that you can just get on their website. So if you were looking for an appendix rig, this is definitely the rig that I would go with. He has no idea I'm making this video, but he did give me that holster a while back. Wicked fast on the draw. As far as speed, the gun, to no surprise, has just broken in so well. Let's check out that trigger quick. Oh, just absolutely incredible. And there's the reset. Just, there's like, say what you will about Springfield. The company, not great. Really rough history, right? We all get that. I make no claim that Springfield is some sort of bastion of hope in the gun industry, but when it comes to 1911s, I got to give it to them. This is not my first Springfield. This is my third. All of them have been excellent. If you follow the MARSOC guns at all in the history of 1911s in the modern GWAT military, Springfield has supplied a majority of the parts for those guns. So when it comes to 1911s, they are quite the sleeper that not many people really realize. More people are realizing that now that all the MARSOC clones are coming out. But for a long time, no one really knew that Springfield was the primary source for most high-end military 1911 builds that were actually going to combat in today's world. If you want to see what my thoughts were at 2,000 rounds, check this video out. If you stayed until now, I really appreciate you, man. You are one of the few that have a solid attention span and one of the few of the 10% that finish out these videos. So I just want to say thank you. I see all of you in the comment section. I have been asking you what guns you want to see, and I'm hoping to appease all of you with these most recent range days. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.